The quantum formula for prosperity. 3 steps to vibrate in daily abundance. There's a formula for prosperity that has nothing to do with hard work, hustle, or sacrifice. It's not about working longer hours or grinding harder. It's not about forcing outcomes or pushing through resistance. The quantum formula for prosperity is elegantly simple. Abundance comes from coherence, not effort. And once you understand this formula and apply its 3 essential steps daily, you'll experience a shift in your financial reality that will seem almost miraculous, but it's not magic. It's pure quantum mechanics applied to wealth creation. Let me start by explaining what coherence means in the context of prosperity. In physics, coherence occurs when waves are perfectly synchronized, moving in harmony with each other. When light waves are coherent, as in a laser, they become incredibly powerful, capable of cutting through steel. When they're incoherent, as in a regular light bulb, they scatter in all directions and produce minimal impact. Your consciousness works exactly the same way. When your thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and actions are coherent, all aligned and synchronized around abundance, you become an incredibly powerful creator of wealth. When they're incoherent, wanting one thing but believing another, saying yes but feeling no, your creative power scatters and produces weak, inconsistent results. Most people are trying to create abundance through effort alone. They work hard, they strategize, they take massive action. And sometimes this produces results, but it's exhausting, unsustainable, and always hits a ceiling. Why? Because effort without coherence is like pushing a boulder uphill. You might make progress, but it requires constant force, and the moment you stop pushing, you slide backward. Coherence, on the other hand, is like placing that same boulder on a downhill slope. Minimal effort produces maximum results because you're aligned with natural flow rather than working against resistance. Here's the revolutionary truth that changes everything. The universe doesn't reward effort. It responds to frequency. Your vibrational frequency, the electromagnetic signal generated by your thoughts, emotions, and state of being, is what determines your financial reality. When your frequency is coherent and aligned with abundance, money flows to you with ease. When your frequency is incoherent and aligned with scarcity, no amount of effort will produce lasting prosperity. This is why some people seem to generate wealth effortlessly, while others struggle despite working incredibly hard. It's not about how much they're doing. It's about the frequency they're broadcasting. The quantum formula for prosperity consists of 3 essential steps that, when practiced daily, create unshakable coherence around abundance. These aren't complicated or time-consuming practices. They're simple, powerful, and incredibly effective. But they must be done consistently, ideally every single day, because coherence isn't something you achieve once and maintain forever. It's something you cultivate and strengthen through daily practice. Think of it like tuning an instrument. Even the finest violin goes out of tune and needs regular adjustment. Your vibrational frequency is no different. The 3 steps are morning alignment, daily calibration, and evening integration. Together, these 3 practices create a complete system for maintaining coherent abundance frequency from the moment you wake up until the moment you go to sleep. Morning alignment sets your frequency for the day ahead. Daily calibration maintains that frequency as you move through your activities and face various circumstances. Evening integration locks in your frequency and programs your subconscious for continued abundance creation while you sleep. This 3-part system addresses your consciousness at the optimal times for maximum impact, creating compound effects that dramatically accelerate your wealth manifestation. Before we dive into each step, I want you to understand something crucial. These practices work not because they're magical rituals, but because they create specific neurological, emotional, and energetic states that are scientifically proven to enhance creativity, decision-making, opportunity recognition, and confident action. When you do these practices consistently, you're literally rewiring your brain, recalibrating your nervous system, and reprogramming your subconscious to operate from abundance rather than scarcity. You're not just thinking positively. You're fundamentally transforming the operating system that runs your financial life. Here's what you can expect when you commit to this 3-step formula. Within the first week, you'll notice shifts in your internal state. more peace around money, more clarity in decision-making, more energy and enthusiasm. Within the first month, you'll begin seeing external evidence, unexpected money appearing, new opportunities emerging, better financial decisions leading to better outcomes. Within 3 months of consistent practice, you'll likely experience significant financial transformation that would have seemed impossible from your previous state of consciousness. This isn't a promise of overnight millions. This is a realistic timeline for deep, sustainable transformation when you commit to daily coherence. The beauty of this formula is its simplicity. You don't need special tools, expensive courses, or complicated techniques. You just need commitment, consistency, and willingness to prioritize these 3 practices every single day. 20 to 30 minutes total. That's all it takes to create and maintain the coherence that transforms your financial reality. Most people spend more time than that scrolling social media or watching television. The question is, are you willing to invest that time in yourself and your prosperity? Are you ready to stop trying so hard and start aligning so deeply that abundance becomes your natural state? If yes, then let's dive into the 3 steps of the quantum formula for prosperity. Step 1. Morning alignment, setting your abundance frequency. The first step in the quantum formula for prosperity is morning alignment, and this is arguably the most important of the 3 steps because it sets your vibrational frequency for the entire day ahead. The first 30 to 60 minutes after you wake up are the most powerful time for programming your consciousness because your brain is transitioning from theta and alpha wave states, where your subconscious is highly receptive, into beta, your normal waking consciousness. During this transition window, you have direct access to your subconscious programming, which means you can install new patterns and frequencies with minimal resistance. Most people completely waste this precious window. They immediately grab their phone, check messages, scroll social media, read news, and allow external circumstances to dictate their internal state. By the time they've been awake for 30 minutes, they've already activated stress responses, scattered their attention in a dozen directions, and locked themselves into reactive mode for the entire day. They've given away their power to create their day and instead allowed the day to create them. This is why they experience so much struggle. They're starting from a place of incoherence before their day even begins. Morning alignment is about taking back that power. It's about consciously, intentionally setting your frequency before you engage with anything external. It's about programming your subconscious for abundance before the demands and distractions of the day can program you for scarcity. Here's the specific protocol. The moment you wake up, before checking your phone or doing anything else, sit up or lie comfortably and begin with breath regulation. Take 10 deep, conscious breaths. Inhale for 4 counts, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4. This coherent breathing pattern immediately activates your parasympathetic nervous system, bringing you into a state of calm presence. Your nervous system state determines your baseline frequency, so starting with regulated breathing is non-negotiable. After your breathing, move into what I call identity activation. Close your eyes and ask yourself, who am I in my most abundant reality? Not who do I want to become, but who am I right now in the quantum reality where I'm already wealthy and abundant? Feel into this identity. How does this version of you think? How do they feel? What do they believe about themselves and money? What energy do they carry? Spend 3 to 5 minutes fully embodying this identity. Don't visualize this person as separate from you. Become them. Step into their consciousness. This isn't pretending. This is accessing a quantum reality that already exists and making it your dominant identity in this moment. Next, move into emotional generation. Ask yourself, what emotions does my abundant self experience regularly? Is it peace, freedom, excitement, gratitude, joy, confidence? Identify the top 3 emotions associated with your abundant identity. Then consciously generate those emotions in your body right now. Don't wait to feel them. Create them. Feel peace spreading through your chest. Feel freedom expanding in your entire being. Feel gratitude warming your heart. Spend 5 minutes making these emotions as real and intense as possible. Remember, emotions are the language your body speaks, and your body is your most powerful transmitter. When you generate abundance emotions first thing in the morning, you're programming your entire system to broadcast abundance frequency all day. Now move into belief reinforcement. Speak out loud 3 to 5 empowering beliefs about money and abundance. Examples: money flows to me easily and constantly. I am a powerful creator of wealth. Abundance is my natural state. I deserve unlimited prosperity. The universe supports my financial success. Speak these beliefs with conviction and emotion, not as affirmations you're trying to believe, but as declarations of truth. Your subconscious mind is listening, and when you speak with certainty and feeling, these beliefs begin to overwrite old scarcity programming. Spend 2 to 3 minutes on this practice. Finally, complete your morning alignment with vision setting. Ask yourself, what would make today feel abundant and successful? What opportunities am I calling in? What inspired actions will I take? What evidence of abundance will I notice? Spend 3 to 5 minutes mentally walking through your day as your abundant self, seeing yourself making decisions from abundance, noticing opportunities, taking inspired action, and experiencing flow. You're not trying to control every detail. You're setting an intention and a frequency that will attract matching circumstances throughout your day. The entire morning alignment practice takes 15 to 25 minutes depending on how much time you spend on each component. This is your non-negotiable foundation. Before you check your phone, before you talk to anyone, before you engage with any external input, you do this practice. You're not being selfish or indulgent. You're taking responsibility for your frequency, which determines your reality. When you protect this morning time and use it for alignment, everything else in your day flows better. You make better decisions. You see more opportunities. You feel more abundant. You attract more prosperity. This isn't theory, this is cause and effect at the quantum level. Here's what makes morning alignment so powerful. You're creating coherence at all 5 levels simultaneously. You're regulating your nervous system through breath. You're activating your abundant identity. You're generating high-frequency emotions. You're reinforcing empowering beliefs. And you're setting clear intentions. All 5 components of your vibrational frequency, physiology, identity, emotion, belief, and thought, are aligned and broadcasting the same signal: abundance. This is coherence, and coherence is power. When you start your day in this state, you're not hoping for abundance. You're guaranteed to experience it because you've tuned yourself to its frequency. Step 2. Daily calibration, maintaining your abundance frequency. Morning alignment sets your frequency, but daily calibration maintains it. Throughout your day, you'll encounter circumstances, people, and challenges that can knock you out of alignment if you're not vigilant. Someone might trigger you. An unexpected bill might arrive. You might face rejection or disappointment. Your old patterns might try to reassert themselves. Without daily calibration, you'll drift from the abundant frequency you established in the morning back into your old default frequency of scarcity. Daily calibration prevents this drift and keeps you locked into abundance frequency no matter what's happening around you. Here's the practice. Set alarms on your phone for every 2 to 3 hours throughout your day. When the alarm goes off, stop whatever you're doing and take 60 to 90 seconds for a frequency check. This isn't about taking a long break from your activities. This is about consciously pausing to assess and adjust your frequency before unconscious patterns pull you off course. During each calibration moment, ask yourself 4 simple questions. What am I thinking right now? What am I feeling right now? Am I in my abundant identity or my old identity? Is my body tense or relaxed? These 4 questions give you instant feedback about your current frequency. If you notice you've drifted into scarcity thoughts, worrying about money, focusing on problems, doubting yourself, immediately redirect. Choose one abundant thought to focus on for the next hour. If you notice you've dropped into low-frequency emotions, anxiety, frustration, unworthiness, take 3 conscious breaths and consciously shift to a higher frequency emotion. You don't need to force yourself to feel amazing. Just shift up the emotional scale slightly. From frustration to acceptance. from anxiety to hope, from unworthiness to willingness. Any upward movement counts. If you notice you've slipped out of your abundant identity and back into your old identity, making decisions from scarcity, acting small, playing it safe, consciously step back into your abundant self. Ask, what would my abundant self do in this situation? Then do that, even if it feels uncomfortable. If you notice your body is tense, shoulders tight, jaw clenched, breathing shallow, spend 30 seconds doing coherent breathing and consciously relaxing your body. Remember, your physiology affects your frequency more than your thoughts do. A relaxed body broadcasts a different signal than a tense body. The power of daily calibration is in the frequency of the practice, not the duration. You're not spending a lot of time on each calibration, just 60 to 90 seconds, but you're doing it multiple times throughout the day. This creates constant course correction that prevents major drift. It's like steering a ship. Small, frequent adjustments keep you on course far more effectively than large, infrequent corrections. By checking and adjusting your frequency every few hours, you maintain coherent abundance consciousness even in the midst of challenging circumstances. Here's another critical component of daily calibration: evidence collection. Throughout your day, actively look for evidence of abundance. This trains your brain to notice what's working rather than what's lacking. Every time you notice any form of abundance, a green light when you need it, a parking spot opening up, someone being kind, receiving any amount of money no matter how small, having a good idea, feeling energized, acknowledge it. Say to yourself, this is evidence of abundance in my life. You can even keep a running note on your phone where you record these moments. This practice rewires your perception from lack-focused to abundance-focused, which dramatically shifts your frequency. Also practice what I call decision point awareness. Multiple times throughout your day, you face decision points, small and large choices about how to spend your time, energy, attention, and money. Each decision is either aligned with abundance frequency or scarcity frequency. During your calibration moments, become conscious of the decisions you've made since your last calibration. Were they abundant decisions or scarce decisions? Did you choose based on fear or faith? Did you act from your abundant identity or your old identity? This awareness helps you make increasingly aligned choices as your day progresses. Finally, use your calibration moments to celebrate wins. Did something good happen since your last check-in? Acknowledge it. Appreciate it. Let yourself feel good about it for even just 10 seconds. Celebration is a high-frequency state that magnetizes more to celebrate. Most people rush past their wins without acknowledgement, always focused on the next thing that needs to happen. This creates a frequency of never enough. When you pause to celebrate, you're telling the quantum field, I notice abundance, I appreciate abundance, I expect more abundance. This creates a powerful attraction loop. Daily calibration is what separates people who experience temporary abundance from people who sustain permanent prosperity. Anyone can feel abundant for a few minutes in the morning. The masters maintain that frequency throughout their entire day, regardless of circumstances. They don't let external events determine their internal state. They use conscious calibration to stay aligned with abundance even when facing challenges. This is true mastery, and it's available to you through this simple practice of checking and adjusting your frequency multiple times daily. Step 3. Evening integration. Locking in your abundance frequency. The third step in the quantum formula for prosperity is evening integration, and this practice is where you lock in the frequency you've maintained throughout the day and program your subconscious for continued abundance creation while you sleep. Your subconscious mind is most receptive to programming during the transition from waking consciousness into sleep, making the 30 to 60 minutes before bed crucial for deep transformation. Just as morning alignment sets your frequency for the day, evening integration sets your frequency for your sleep state, which is when your subconscious does its most powerful processing and integration work. Most people completely waste this window just like they waste their morning. They watch television, scroll their phones, consume news or social media, or go to bed while thinking about problems and worries. This programs their subconscious with stress, fear, and scarcity right before the 8 hours when their subconscious will be processing without any conscious interference. Then they wonder why they wake up feeling anxious or why their financial situation never improves despite their daytime efforts. Your subconscious is working on whatever you give it right before sleep. If you give it worry and scarcity, it will create more circumstances that match that frequency. Evening integration is about consciously programming your subconscious for abundance before you sleep. Here's the specific protocol. Approximately 30 to 60 minutes before your intended sleep time, disconnect from all screens and external stimulation. Create a calm environment. Sit comfortably and begin with the same coherent breathing you used in the morning. 10 breaths, for counts in, hold 4, for counts out, hold 4. This signals to your nervous system that you're transitioning from active doing mode into receptive being mode. After your breathing, move into what I call evidence review. Mentally review your entire day looking specifically for evidence of abundance. What money came in, even small amounts? What opportunities appeared? What inspired ideas did you have? What decisions did you make from your abundant identity? What moments of flow did you experience? What synchronicities occurred? Spend 5 to 10 minutes mentally collecting all the evidence from your day. This practice does something profound. It trains your brain to organize your daily experiences around abundance rather than lack. Over time, this rewiring causes you to automatically notice and attract more abundant experiences. Next, move into gratitude practice. Feel deep appreciation for the abundance you experience today, the abundance that exists in your life right now, and the abundance that's making its way to you from the quantum field. Gratitude is one of the highest frequency states available to human consciousness. When you go to sleep in a state of gratitude, you're programming your subconscious to generate more experiences to be grateful for. Spend 5 minutes in genuine appreciation, not just thinking about what you're grateful for, but actually feeling the emotion of gratitude throughout your body. Let it fill you completely. Now move into what I call quantum completion. This is where you acknowledge your growth and integration from the day. Ask yourself, what did I learn today about abundance? How did I grow? What old patterns did I successfully interrupt? What new patterns did I strengthen? Spend a few minutes acknowledging your progress, no matter how small. This is critical because your subconscious needs to know you're moving forward. When you acknowledge growth, you reinforce the new neural pathways you're creating and make it easier to continue that growth tomorrow. Even if you had setbacks today, find the lesson and the growth. This keeps you in an abundance mindset rather than a failure mindset. Next comes intention setting for sleep. Your subconscious mind works on problems and processes information while you sleep. Give it a clear directive. Say something like, "Tonight while I sleep, my subconscious mind continues to align me with abundance." It releases any remaining blocks to prosperity. It opens me to new opportunities and insights. It strengthens my abundant identity. I wake up tomorrow even more aligned with wealth than I am today. Speak this intention clearly and with feeling. Your subconscious is listening and will literally work on this throughout the night. Finally, end your evening integration with what I call abundance visualization. As you're lying in bed ready to sleep, spend 5 to 10 minutes visualizing your ideal abundant life in vivid detail. See yourself living in your desired reality. Feel the emotions of that reality. Make it so real that your body experiences it as current reality, not future fantasy. This final visualization becomes the last thing your conscious mind focuses on before sleep, which means it's what your subconscious mind will process most deeply throughout the night. You're essentially programming your dreams and your subconscious processing with the frequency of abundance. The entire evening integration practice takes 20 to 30 minutes. This is time invested in your prosperity that pays exponential returns. While you sleep, your subconscious mind, which is 1,000,000 times more powerful than your conscious mind, is processing, integrating, rewiring, and creating according to the program you gave it. You're literally creating abundance in your sleep when you do this practice consistently. People who use evening integration report more abundant dreams, waking up with inspired ideas, increased synchronicities, and accelerated manifestation of their financial goals. Here's what makes the combination of all three steps so powerful. Morning alignment sets your frequency, daily calibration maintains it, and evening integration locks it in and amplifies it while you sleep. Together, these three practices create a complete system for sustaining coherent abundance frequency 24 hours a day. You're not just trying to be abundant during your morning practice. You're creating a lifestyle of abundance consciousness that permeates every moment of your waking and sleeping life. This is how you shift from temporary abundance to permanent prosperity. Living the quantum formula. Coherence as your new reality. Now let's talk about what happens when you commit to this three-step quantum formula for prosperity daily. Because consistency is where the magic happens. Doing these practices once or twice will give you a taste of what's possible. Doing them daily for 30 days will create noticeable shifts. Doing them daily for 90 days will create transformation that seems miraculous. This formula works through compound effects. Each day's practice builds on the previous days, creating momentum and depth that eventually reaches a tipping point where abundance becomes your automatic default state rather than something you have to work to maintain. In the first week of practicing this formula, you'll likely notice internal shifts before external ones. You'll feel calmer around money. You'll experience more clarity in your thinking. You'll notice yourself making better decisions. You'll have more energy and enthusiasm. Your relationships might improve because you're not broadcasting stress and scarcity. These internal shifts are evidence that your frequency is changing, even if your bank account hasn't changed yet. Don't dismiss these internal shifts as insignificant. They're the foundation for everything that follows. By the second and third weeks, you'll start noticing what I call frequency matches. External circumstances that match your new internal frequency. Someone might pay you money they owed you. An unexpected check might arrive. You might get a discount or a refund. An opportunity might present itself. A new income stream might open up. These aren't coincidences. They're the quantum field responding to your new coherent frequency. The field always responds, but it responds to what you're actually broadcasting, not what you're hoping to broadcast. As your practices create real coherence, the field has no choice but to deliver matching circumstances. By week 4 and beyond, the changes often accelerate. Your abundant identity starts to feel more natural than your old identity. Your high-frequency emotions become easier to access and maintain. Your empowering beliefs start to feel true rather than aspirational. Your nervous system resets to a new baseline of calm and expansion. And as this internal coherence solidifies, your external reality reorganizes itself dramatically. New opportunities, relationships, and resources appear that were literally invisible to you at your old frequency. This is what I mean by coherence creating effortless abundance. You're not working harder, you're vibrating higher, and high vibration attracts high-level opportunities. Let me be clear about something important. This formula doesn't eliminate action. You still need to take inspired action when opportunities present themselves. The difference is that the action comes from flow rather than force, from inspiration rather than desperation, from abundance rather than scarcity. And because it's aligned action, it produces exponentially better results with less effort. You're not pushing against resistance anymore. You're flowing with momentum. The formula creates the coherence that allows you to see opportunities clearly, make aligned decisions confidently, and take effective action naturally. Here's what makes this formula sustainable. It's simple enough to maintain long-term but powerful enough to create real transformation. You don't need hours of practice every day. You need 20 to 30 minutes total, 10 minutes in the morning, 60 to 90 seconds multiple times during the day, and 15 to 20 minutes in the evening. Anyone can find this time if they're serious about their prosperity. The question is, are you willing to prioritize your frequency over your phone, your abundance over your entertainment, your transformation over your temporary comfort? This formula only works if you work it. I also want to address resistance, because you'll likely experience it. Some mornings you won't feel like doing your alignment practice. Some days you'll skip your calibrations. Some evenings you'll be too tired for integration. This is your old programming fighting to stay alive. Your ego prefers the familiar, even when the familiar is painful. because it feels safe. When you encounter resistance, don't fight it or judge yourself. Simply acknowledge it. I notice resistance, then do the practice anyway. Action creates motivation more effectively than motivation creates action. You don't need to feel like doing the practice. You just need to do it. As you do it consistently despite resistance, the resistance weakens and eventually disappears. Another key to success with this formula is adaptation. The practices I've outlined are templates, not rigid rules. You might need to adjust timing based on your schedule. You might need to modify specific techniques based on what resonates with you. The core principles, morning alignment, daily calibration, evening integration, remain the same, but you can customize the specific methods. Some people prefer longer morning practices and shorter evening ones. Some people need more frequent calibrations throughout the day. Some people add journaling or movement to their practices. Make this formula your own while maintaining the essential structure that creates coherence. Community and accountability can dramatically increase your success with this formula. When possible, find others who are committed to the same practices and support each other. Share your experiences. Celebrate your wins together. Help each other through challenges. Having even one other person who understands what you're doing creates momentum and makes it easier to stay consistent. If you don't have someone in your immediate circle, seek out online communities focused on quantum prosperity and frequency work. You don't have to do this alone. Finally, let's talk about measurement and progress. Track your practice consistency. Did you do all 3 steps today? Track your frequency throughout the day. How much of your day did you spend in abundant frequency versus scarcity frequency? Track evidence of abundance. What showed up that matches your new frequency? And track your financial results. Income increases, unexpected money, new opportunities. This tracking serves 2 purposes. It keeps you accountable to your practices, and it helps you see the correlation between your frequency and your results. Over time, you'll see undeniable patterns that prove this formula works. Here's my final message to you. Abundance is not something you achieve through struggle and sacrifice. Abundance comes from coherence, aligning your entire being with the frequency of prosperity and maintaining that alignment consistently. This 3-step formula, morning alignment, daily calibration, evening integration, is your practical system for creating and sustaining that coherence. It's simple, but it's not necessarily easy because it requires daily commitment and consistent practice. But I promise you this, if you commit to this formula for 90 days without missing a day, your financial reality will transform in ways that will astound you. Not because the formula is magic, but because coherence is power. And when you become coherently aligned with abundance, abundance has no choice but to flow to you. The quantum field always delivers matching frequency. Your job is simply to maintain the frequency of prosperity daily through these 3 essential steps. You now have the formula. The question is, will you use it? Will you choose coherence over effort? Will you prioritize your frequency over everything else? Your prosperity is waiting for you on the other side of this commitment. Welcome to your abundant life.